This is Pauline Cofield, grandmother to 2, great-grandmother to 7, and a great-grandmother to 3. My great-grandmother was an amazing and smart person. My great-grandmother was born September 3rd, 1927 to the late Fraser Grayer and Daisy Grayer in Whitesville, Georgia. She was the youngest of 2 kids, and her oldest brother, the late Willie L. Grayer, was very overprotective of her. The 20s was called the Roaring 20s because half of the things we use today was made. For example, the airplane, camera, and TV. Living in the South in the 20s as a black child was a struggle. Many because the blacks and the whites couldn't do everything together. Everywhere you went, it was 2 separate places for 2 different races, and it was a hard struggle for my grandmother. My great-grandmother would tell stories about growing up in the South and how she would help her grandmother on the farm, and she loved her family in the city that she lived in. Although it was a lot of drama and racism, her childhood was full of happiness. Fast forward, in 1945, my great-grandmother moved to Philadelphia. My great-grandfather, the late Charlie Cofield, came back from World War II and noticed that she was gone. Immediately, he chased after her and they got married. 2 years later, they had my grandmother, Diane Cofield. This is Diane Cofield, grandmother to 7 and great-grandmother to 3. My Nana was born March 1st, 1948 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She was the only child and described it as lonely, and sometimes it would be fun. She only had a few things as a child and would get bullied sometimes because of it. My Nana said it was never hard to get things she needed, but it also wasn't easy. My great-grandmother would make her plaid skirts, and sometimes my Nana would get jobs to get new fabric. The 40s was a very dramatic time period. Adolf Hitler and his new wife committed suicide, and Harry Truman became president after President Roosevelt was assassinated. Overall, it was a very sad and happy time period, but one thing that was very popular was the fashion. The 40s fashion set trends, and overall was an unforgettable decade for many reasons, both political and fashion-wise. My great-grandmother died August 25th, 2016. Thanks to her raising my Nana right and raising the rest of my family right, our family is a very loving, supportive, and accepting family. Also hardworking. So thank you. This documentary was for my great-grandmother.
A culture? What do you mean?
A culture, like traditions. Do we based off of like African culture or anything?
No, I don't think so. Basically, I follow grandma rules, except for the cooking. Now, I'm not one who loves to stay in the kitchen. If I could jump over it and don't go in it, I probably would be that type, But basically, a lot of things that go on in the house, we remember. I said, well, grandma or my mother did it this way, and I try to do it that way.